What's up, guys? So today we're going to be discussing reverse proxies and how exactly you can make your own. It's kind of just like a little bit of background information about like what a reverse proxy is. So actually, a forwarding proxy allows you to on an internal network hit the proxy server that allows you to get outside and access the internet and reach other servers outside of your internal network, while a reverse proxy kind of is the opposite of that. It takes the incoming stuff and sends it to a proxy server from the internet, and even though you might have different web addresses, they're all connected to the same IP address. So kind of as you can see down here at the bottom of our code, we had http appa.domain.com and similarly http appb.domain.com. And if you take a look, they both, that's a little bit too far. They both have the same IP address. So like you can see here that this is 127.0.0.1, as well as app B being 127.0.0.1. And so even though they're on the same IP address, it takes you to two separate web pages, and I'll demonstrate that here in a bit. Kind of just like a little bit of background information behind the making of the proxy server and those web apps and stuff like that. We used a virtual machine that was running Ubuntu 22.04, and within that we just went to the terminal and made sure we got all the updates and all of any upgrades and stuff, as well as installing the service that allows us to have the reverse proxy called Nginx. And doing that, we also had to do kind of get updates for Python, but Python's already in the terminal, as well as HTTPIS. And that's kind of just like, that was the HTTPIS was used to test all of our stuff. But so kind of just going along here, we had to make the directories for the different apps and just kind of give them like some text so whenever you run it, you can see everything. So for app A, we just said this is app A, and for similarly B, it says that it's app B. We put it on, app A was on port 3000 of that IP address, and app B was on port 4000 of that IP address. Kind of just showing that that's how someone from the outside can access those different websites, even though they're on the same IP address. And then we had to go through and change some of the files that were in the different directories. One thing that we kind of ran into that was an issue was it kept telling us that, as you can see, permission was denied multiple times, and we had to go about it and try and figure out how we could regain all those permissions. And so after a lot of trial and error, we realized that we just had to go in and do sudo chown and then whoever the user is, and then give them permission to own the directories that those files were in. And after doing all of that, we just had to run some tests to make sure that Nginx was actually properly working. So you can see here, it was active and all of that, and then we ran down here and did those to make sure that everything looked good and that it was actually performing. So if I go to the Firefox tab here and just type in appa.domain.com, it comes up and shows that this is app A. And similarly, if I put appb.domain.com, it shows that this is app B. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to leave any extra questions in the comments below.